They unleashed havoc. Humans responded with, finally, a reason to fight. The Galactic Council had always considered humans an oddity. Among the 847 known sentient species, humanity was unique in their apparent obsession with conflict simulation. While other civilizations spent their leisure time in meditation, artistic expression, or philosophical discourse, humans created elaborate games centered around warfare, competition, and survival scenarios. Ambassador Zekthara of the Crystalline Hegemony found it particularly disturbing. During diplomatic meetings, she had observed human delegates discussing something called Call of Duty statistics, with the same intensity that her people reserved for quantum mathematics. The humans seemed to find genuine entertainment in virtual destruction, spending countless hours perfecting strategies for imaginary battles. It's almost as if they're preparing for something, she had confided to her aide. But preparing for what? The galaxy has been at peace for over 3 centuries. The answer came with devastating clarity when the Void Hunters emerged from the dark spaces between galaxies. The first attack vaporized the peaceful Melodian homeworld in minutes. The Hunters moved like a plague across star systems, their ships designed for one purpose: total annihilation. They left no survivors, took no prisoners, and offered no terms. They simply consumed entire civilizations and moved on. Panic spread through the Galactic Council faster than their hyperspace communications. Species that had evolved past the concept of warfare found themselves defenseless against entities that existed solely to destroy. The ethereal collective, master philosophers of the Andromeda Spiral, transmitted their final poetry before their worlds turned to ash. The technological marvel of the Mechanic Union crumbled when their machines refused to harm biological entities. Within 6 months, 43 civilizations had fallen. The emergency session of the Galactic Council was a study in despair. Representatives wept, meditated themselves into catatonic states, or simply stared at the strategic displays showing the inexorable advance of the Void Hunters. Mathematical analysis suggests complete galactic extinction within 4.7 standard years, reported the AI collective known as the Calculating Minds. Recommendation: immediate evacuation to parallel dimensions. The spiritual harmonics indicate this is a test of cosmic significance, intoned High Priest Muldrak of the Sacred Geometry Faith. We must achieve perfect enlightenment to transcend this physical threat. Ambassador Zekthara watched her colleagues debate philosophical solutions to an existential crisis, then turned to the human delegation. They sat quietly in their section, 12 individuals led by Admiral Chen Rodriguez. Unlike every other species present, the humans didn't appear panicked or mystified. They looked excited. "Admiral Rodriguez," Zekthara called across the chamber. "What is humanity's recommendation?" Rodriguez stood slowly, and Zekthara noticed something she'd never seen in 3 centuries of galactic peace. The human was smiling. "With respect, Ambassador," Rodriguez said, "we've been preparing for this our entire existence." The chamber fell silent except for the translation matrices processing the human's words. Every wargame, every strategy simulation, every competitive scenario we've created, they were all practice. Every human child who played Capture the Flag, every teenager who mastered real-time strategy games, every adult who studied military history, they were all training. Rodriguez gestured to the tactical display. "You see an unstoppable force of destruction. We see a problem that needs solving." His smile widened. Finally, a reason to fight. What happened next defied every prediction model in the galaxy. Humanity didn't evacuate. They didn't meditate. They didn't seek transcendence. They went to work. Within 72 hours, every human civilian had been evacuated from frontier worlds and relocated to fortified core systems. Not relocated to safety, relocated to weapons manufacturing facilities. Children operated assembly lines with the efficiency of veteran workers. Elderly humans designed defensive strategies with the wisdom of lifelong generals. Every human, regardless of age or background, contributed to the war effort with terrifying competence. The first human fleet to engage the Void Hunters was outnumbered 300 to 1. Galactic observers expected another massacre. Instead, they witnessed something unprecedented. The Void Hunters retreated. "Impossible," breathed Zekthara as she watched the tactical feeds. "How did they?" "Pattern recognition. explained Admiral Rodriguez from the command deck of the human dreadnought Unconquered. Every strategy game we've ever played, every war movie we've ever watched, every historical battle we've ever studied, the Void Hunters use variations of tactics we've seen before. The human fleet moved like a living organism, each ship anticipating not just enemy movements but the movements of allied vessels. Centuries of multiplayer games had taught them to coordinate as naturally as breathing. Decades of studying warfare had given them instincts for battle that other species couldn't comprehend. You call them Void Hunters, Rodriguez continued as his fleet systematically dismantled enemy formations. We call them a boss fight. The war lasted 18 months. The Void Hunters, for all their destructive power, had never encountered a species that treated warfare as entertainment. Every tactic they employed, humans had countered in simulation. Every strategy they attempted, humans had perfected in games. More importantly, humans had learned something that 3 centuries of peace had caused other species to forget. Sometimes, the only response to violence is superior violence, applied with precision and overwhelming force. When the last Void Hunter ship was destroyed above the rubble of their primary staging world, the galaxy found itself in an unprecedented situation. The humans had not only won, they had enjoyed winning. So, Admiral Rodriguez asked the assembled Galactic Council as humanity's fleets began returning home, what other problems need solving? Ambassador Zekthara looked at the humans with new understanding. Their obsession with conflict hadn't been preparation for war. It had been preparation for the responsibility that came with being the galaxy's guardians. Finally, she whispered to herself, we know what they were preparing for.